How's it going? This is Chris Hoban with my Project 2. And my Project 2 bot is named the Billboard bot. So, the gearing situation for this is I have a big gear driving a smaller gear, and each side, each wheel, gets one motor, and I have two wheels that are driving the bot, and those ones get motors, and then the back wheel is just there to turn and stabilize the bot. So those are the pictures of the wheels, and right there it shows you the alignment of the gears, and right here it shows the assembly of the screen with the gears on it. So in order to stabilize that a little bit, I put a piece of metal across the middle of that so it would be more stable, and also I laid the battery on there. So this is kind of my first design. As you see, I had that white wheel in the back, which allowed it to kind of balance it out and turn. But later on, I found out that that wheel wasn't that great. But and this is how I first had the sensor. I just have one right now, just showing you how I had it. But it turned out not to be such a good idea because it wasn't low enough to the ground. So, and there again is the wheel I was talking about that I had to replace. So then I added that piece of metal to make the sensors lower to the ground. And then I had to spread them out a little bit because they weren't reading the lines correct. So then I spread them out, but it was too much spreading out. So I had to, clump them back together. And basically when I clumped them together, I just kind of had to separate them out a little bit after clumping them together. So this is my new wheel that I have going on. And this wheel, it was a lot more sturdy, and it kept it a lot more balanced. It kept the cart a lot more balanced. And there I have, I'm showing how it was built on. So, and I also had to kind of move the wiring around so it didn't get caught up with the gear or with the wheel. And also, I moved these sensors out in front of the wheel, and I had to add an extension to the wires so they would reach. And I did this because when the bot's going forward, it just reads the lines better and the movement of the bot's better when the sensors are out front. And that is why I have those sensors out there. And that's underneath. And this is my first test run. It was kind of jerky, pretty slow, so I had to fix it up a bit. And as you can see, it kind of sort of glitch out right there. And that was just because I didn't spread my sensors out enough. But this is for part one. This is kind of the idea. So when it's on the right sensor is going to be 900 or above. That just means that it's high. How's it going? This is Chris Hoban talking about my Project 2 Part 1 of the code. So I'm just going to scroll through all this, but I'll scroll slow so you can see it. It's just basic stuff. And LS stands for left sensor, MS middle sensor, and then the last one right here is right sensor, just in case you're having trouble with that commenting right there if it's unclear. So again, same thing. So right here, I don't really need this here. I just have it for testing purposes. And then right here is the actual thing that gets printed on the screen. This is the counter again. I know I was not supposed to have that in there, but I couldn't get it to count without that. It was just kind of glitching on me without that. So I had to put that one back in there. That line right there. And then here's the nuts and bolts of it. So when the counter reaches 3, because at the third tick mark, that's where the end line is, where once it's completed its full circle, the third tick mark is at that end right there. So once it counts to 3, it's gonna just shut off all these if statements. So when the middle sensor is high, then because 900 is high and anything below 900 is low, so anything above 900 is high again. But so when everything else is low and then middle sensor is high, it's going to go forward. And then I have the left sensor a little bit different because I have an OR here, and I have this OR here because what if it's in between the left and middle sensor? I still want it to turn left. That's why I have this code right there. And then have the same thing for right. And then I have it going when all of these sensors are low, it's going to start to back up because it's off the track if every sensor's low. So it's going to back up until until one of these sensors senses something. And then lastly, I have it going straight if all 3 sensors are high. So right here's my Objective 2 demonstration. It's going to go over the line, and then it's going to go back over the line when it reverses. So it's going to show a 2 count. So go in this part 2, final part for project 2. So part 2 of the coding is basically the same thing as part 1, except for I deleted that print LCD print screen for the middle and left and right sensors. So we do not have that, or I do not have that displaying on the screen anymore. And now instead of that displaying on the screen, I have this displaying on the screen. It's just the count, the number of tick marks counted. And right here also, it's the same thing. Very top of the line, I still have whether it's going forward motion, left motion, or right motion. I still have all that, or backwards motion. So right here we have the final demonstration of the project as it goes through the course. So I have it going double the speed of the video just so it moves along faster. And what I have going, I showed you part 1, what part 1 of the screen is supposed to look like, and then I showed you the code for part 1, and then I showed you part 2, what the screen was supposed to look like and how it works, and then I showed you the code for part 2. I did this because my video would have been too long if I showed part 1 and part 2 of it actually going through the course. And all that changed is the screen. It just has different values on it now, so I just figured I would show you at my desk. And also the videos, my phone, it couldn't hold that much more video left, so I kind of had to stop during video and start up again because my phone was low on memory. So you will see the bot. I think I had to take 3 separate videos. It's not because the bot wasn't working, it was just because my phone it just didn't have the memory. So they're just going through the track, and it was still kind of slow for me, but it got the job done, so I was happy at the end of the day. Then here comes the start line again, and then it stops and that completes a full cycle, and then that's the whole project right there.